Hey everybody, today I want to tell you about a couple of plants you can use for good fragrance in the garden. It's a common thing to overlook when you're designing your garden. Most of the things that are really important for a garden is good color and the size of plants and all those other things. And it's easy to overlook fragrance. And that's something that you'll always think about in the years down the road as you're appreciating your landscape. Is there's a few plants in my house that have extra good fragrance, and whenever I walk by I have to take advantage of that, and it's something I look forward to. And yeah, it's like I said, it's easy to overlook because when you're in the design mode, you're thinking colors, shapes, different heights and widths, and yeah, sometimes the last thing to think about is, is this actually a plant that I'm going to really love just for the thing that it is and its fragrance and all that. So I've got a couple of good options here, and a few that are a little bit more unknown. One of my favorites here is this this Calicanthus. This is a yellow variety called Athens, and I also have the species. This is the typical seedling Calicanthus floridus with the red flowers. It's like a really dusty, dark brown red. And the fragrance is quite nice on this one here. But interestingly enough, the yellow version is quite a bit more fragrant than the species, and grows to a similar height, and otherwise very similar, but flower color is different. And you also have wisteria, lobelia, another rose, good lilac, and on my left here is this is Henry's garnet, Itea, or sweet spire as you might know it. This grows to about 3 to 4 feet in height and width. It'll spread out pretty nice. This has a bit more of a drooping habit with age, so this has been trimmed pretty good to be a nice round ball. But this has a very nice, elegant white flower, good sweet fragrance, blooms midsummer, and I should say early summer, late spring, early summer on this in here. And yeah, awesome fall color. This turns a really bright red. So if you think of burning bush, this would be a similar tone, but a larger leaf, and the leaf is a bit shinier. So this displays arguably a little bit better. Not quite as long as a burning bush, but this is a Northeast native, if that means anything, and they do very well in our area here. But yeah, excellent plant. It can do part sun, part shade, ideally a little more moisture. They don't want to be too dry. And these are quite a serviceable option for foundation planting. And I've got a nice hybrid lilac. This is called Pink Teeny, and I'm gonna say it's a Prestonia hybrid. About 3 to 4 feet on this in here as well. They look like they'd be getting a good bit taller, like something in the 5-6 foot range. But I'd imagine in enough time they would get there. But they are surprisingly compact and nice spring flowers, and pink. This is a true pink. It's a little bit unusual for a lilac, but this one does quite well. Blooms a little bit later. Most of my lilacs are already done. This one here is almost done, but we're on the downside of the bloom cycle, but I still have some new buds, and this will go for another week yet before it drops. And yeah, again, like I said, like about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, and ideally in full sun. These are quite resistant to mildew, but for best practices, put them in plenty of sunlight, and that'll give you your best shot going forward for keeping it clean and happy. And also have a bearded iris here. This is one of the Dutch irises. Unfortunately, this does not have a flower stalk on it right now. This would be a younger plant that didn't bloom this spring. But this is a deep, deep purple one called Superstition. I've got one of these planted in the garden near the entrance, and it gets to, the flowers top out around 30 inches, and deep, deep purple black color, and just a beautiful, sweet iris fragrance. My clump is probably about that fat by now. It's been there about 3 to 4 years, 3 to 4 years from something like this. So it had, I don't know, at least 8 or 10 flower stalks on it. It's doing quite well. Another little gem that I've really, really come to appreciate. This is a ornamental oregano that blooms throughout the summer. It loves it dry. It's very, very easy plant to grow. And whenever I walk by, almost whenever I walk by, I'll tear off a bit of the leaf or the flower and crush it, and it just gives you a really, really strong hit of oregano smell. It's amazing. This does well in containers, and they're pretty hardy. They want good drainage. It's the one thing. If they're too wet, that'll kill them. They want to be good and dry. I've had one of these planted right. Actually, it's growing in about 5 inches of soil on top of some driveway where I kind of made a little bed and planted some of this in there. And I do have to water it occasionally when it gets really dry, but tough as nails, comes back every year, and just it's very short. It gets to about 8 inches tall, 8 to 10 inches tall, and spreads, and really, really good color. So you got your good, good color, good habit, and an amazing smell. Like I was saying, this sweet shrub here, the Athens Calycanthus, this is something that is overlooked in the garden. I've got one in the perimeter planting, and right now it's in full bloom. It's about 6 feet tall and maybe 5 feet wide. It's been there for about 6 years now, and it'll bloom for at least a month. And if you're downwind from that, anywhere, which way the wind's blowing, it is amazing. It's just it's a very fascinating fragrance. It's very fruity, so it's kind of like it's a very sweet, fruity fragrance. It's unique to Calycanthus, very unique fragrance. And this rose is another one of our from David Austin, from our new crop this year. I haven't tried this one yet, but a number of their roses are quite fragrant. So I've got high hopes for this one here, and we'll see what it does. I would like to incorporate a few more new ones in the back here in one of my newer gardens. I got to be careful about space, but that's a cool rose. This is a shrub rose here that will get to about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. And that is, of course, with some pruning. So I've had a couple of their roses before, and they've done exceedingly well. And very clean. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that one fill out. You can't forget lavender. This one is called Phenomenal. This is my favorite lavender by far. We've grown it for, I want to say almost ever since it came out. It's a hybrid. It was patented a number of years ago, and I believe it's patented. I could be wrong there, but this is a beautiful, beautiful lavender, hybrid of the English and the Spanish lavender, I think it is. I forget now exactly, but it grows a little taller. So that's one thing some people have found fault with it. It's going to be quite a bit taller than English lavender. So the flower stalks, the stems on my patch of lavender will easily get up to 2.5 feet. I don't see a problem with that. Actually, I find it quite nice for cutting. So it gives you a really long stem to trim, and you can make some pretty amazing bouquets with lavender. And Russian sage is a close second for fragrance. I have two varieties right here. I've got the good old-fashioned tall growing Russian sage and a newer cultivar called Crazy Blue. The foliage on this is almost identical, but the height on Crazy Blue is only about 18 inches, whereas the typical Russian sage will be up to 3 feet, sometimes 4. They can get quite large in time. They like being dry, hot and dry, and poor soil, which is great. If you have a hot, dry area with poor soil, you can grow some pretty amazing lavender and Russian sage and this oregano. There's still plenty of things you can put in there for color and things like that. So I mentioned this Abelia before. This is a really cool Abelia called Sweet Emotion. It's an Abelia muscinensis, and spring bloom, beautiful fragrance. I'm not 100% sure on the height of this in here, but just looking at it here, I would say you're looking at probably about 6 feet, 6 feet tall and wide. So this is a larger thing that you want to put back in the background, maybe towards the corner of your garden. But the good thing is, being it's a large plant, that means more flowers. So more flowers is a good thing when you've got flowers as fragrant as these here. So this one actually took me off guard this spring. I didn't know how fragrant they were until this one opened up, and we've had them on display right at the front porch, and it's amazing coming out there and just smelling that when you walk by. Unfortunately, most of my larger spots are full, but this is a candidate for somewhere. I got to find a spot for one of these. And last but not least, we've got a beautiful wisteria. This is, let me get my name straight here. This is one of the American types. This is Wisteria frutescens, Amethyst Falls, and it is a more compact variety, more compact wisteria as compared with the Japanese wisteria. Smaller flowers, not quite as aggressive, and I believe this is one of the varieties that reblooms, which is pretty cool. The Asian wisterias bloom just in the spring. They bloomed here. I want to say it's like early May is when mine flowered this year, and they're all done now. This one here is still coming out. Shorter flowers, generally a more pleasant scent. Some of the Asian wisterias almost smell bad. They're so strong, but this one has a very nice fragrance. And I'm currently training one of these at the front porch. So at the shop here, when you come by at the far porch post, I've got one of these here wrapping up around the post, and I've got some boards along the porch roof. We're going to train the thing out along the top of the porch. So that'll be a fun experiment over the years, and I got to watch that grow and watch it bloom. It is still a wisteria. They can get going once they're rooted in, but great plant for fragrance. So yeah, a couple of good options for you. I'll be happy to help you find something extra interesting for your garden, and something you can enjoy the fragrance for years to come. Hey guys, thanks for watching. To see more of our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the notification bell so you can see when new videos get uploaded. And we'll see you again soon.